Hello, and welcome to the BLC's Presents the Billy Boys Incredibly Online Show. It's me, John McInnes. Who else is here?
It's me, John Gallagher Portero.
Gallagher, who else is here?
We have a special guest from the Sheffield improv scene. We have Miss Charlie Gascoyne. Hello, Charlie.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
How are you doing? How are you doing today, Charlie?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm doing
I start a new job tomorrow, so I'm happy, I guess. I'm always very qualified about my answer to this question is positive, but my financial worries are at least mitigated slightly, which is nice.
That's really good. Are you working from home?
Yes. I had to go in today to pick up a work laptop, but I'm not going into a workplace. Because I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's this situation called COVID-19.
Oh yeah, that. Oh, I heard about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy, isn't it?
I thought it was an A-word. I thought it was a joke, but then it wasn't.
So welcome to the most incredibly online improv show. What is this? What the fuck are you watching? This is an improv show. It's a long-form improv show. We're going to do a bunch of scenes that probably look a little bit like a sketch comedy show. But we're going to make it up. We don't know anything. We're going to get a word from the chat, and then all three of us are going to tell a short anecdote that's from our real true lives that word makes us think of, and then we're just going to make shit up for about half an hour. Every time I'm in this comparing mode, my muscles are just I'm waiting for a response from the audience that simply cannot come. My bones are just you guys ready for that? And I'm making eye contact with Lego figures in my living room.
You say this every week.
I know, but that doesn't mean it's not in my bones every week. It's a boring thing if anybody's watching all of these. And if you're watching all of these, thank you so much. What's the word?
We asked for a suggestion on the chat, and our word is umbrella.
Umbrella.
The first word I saw.
Umbrella. I guess umbrella makes me, obviously it makes me think of rain. But the primary reason or thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about rain right now is that I'm from Scotland, but I moved to England. And I first moved just after graduation to a city called Salisbury. You may have heard of it because a dissident was murdered there somewhat recently. I moved there for work in 2009. And it was honestly a shock to my core how much English people complain about rain. Because it just didn't rain for nearly half a year there. But I'm from Scotland where it literally will rain once a week the whole year, including summer. And but it's a more of a united national identity, I think, to complain about rain and the weather in general. Certainly people in England love being the weather isn't good. So I would just go around Salisbury and people would be complaining about the weather. I'm what the fuck are you talking about? It never rains here. This is this is Spain to me, and I've never been to Spain, but in my mind, this is what Spain would be truly. That's what umbrella things off to me. I moved there, I said, in 2009, stayed there till about 2012. I had to leave Scotland because they got rid of the jobs. Scotland doesn't have jobs anymore. They outsourced it all to everybody else. I actually had a very lucky kind of moment there where just before I started my job, I had no money. I'd ran out of unemployment benefits. I was just offered to move into this job, and I was this is great, but I had no money to get rent a place or live for a month or two, and then just before I had to make a decision, £3,000 just appeared in my bank account. I was this feels wrong. What's this? And I looked into it, and it was basically I had taken out student loans during my time at uni, but they hadn't given me the amount I had requested. They had given me the minimum, and then that because I just graduated, they were oh, here's the rest. We forgot to give you it. First of all, that's a stupid system. Like, what am I going to do at that point? I've graduated. But second of all, thank you, SAS, for giving me money that allowed me to live for a couple of months in Salisbury. I could keep going. I'm sure you guys have something on Umbrella.
Umbrella is I read the Umbrella Academy is a graphic novel series that I enjoy. What?
I'm just remembering that Umbrella's a big part of Resident Evil, which I want to talk about. But no, keep going.
Umbrella Academy is I used to really love reading the books. It's a graphic novel written by the guy from My Chemical Romance, which is I recently saw a picture of him, and he looks so different to what he once was as this gothic teenage icon back in the early 2000s. And it made me kind of sad. Not that I was a My Chemical Romance fan or anything. I really wasn't into them that much, but it just, from this blonde-haired, kind of good-looking dude, he's sort of, I guess he's just got old. I'm not saying he's ugly or anything. He's just like, he just looks really sad now. And I just remember My Chemical Romance being like such a huge thing, because I lived in Camden in North London, and I lived like 5-10 minutes away from the market, like, you know, where the canal is, and the where the marketplace is, where all the weird gothic shops are. And I remember going there a lot, and there were these little shops where you would just buy like army camo like wear, and it was just a really strange place to be. And I remember right in the middle of this marketplace with all this sort of hippie stuff, and like organic juice that you can buy, and knockoff CDs from old vinyl CDs, old vinyl players and old CDs. Right in the middle of it was Cyberdog, which is this huge shop, but it was all for clubbing, like all the neon clubbing right in the middle of it, and you'd go down the escalators, and it felt like you were in the future. But it was strange. It was just weird. It was just all these neon stuff, anything like stereotyped by these clubbers going in with like dancing with glow sticks. It was in this shop. And I remember going in that shop a few times, not to buy anything, but it felt like a museum. Like I'd just go down there just to have a look at the stuff for 5 minutes and then leave. I wouldn't even do anything in there. And I specifically remember they had a kids section. They had a kids section of, I'm not kidding, there was like for 10-year-olds and younger. There were like these like tank tops and neon stuff and stuff like neon curlers to put in your hair, and all I could think of was what child would be clubbing. So yeah.
So Umbrella makes me think of Mary Poppins, one of my favourite films. I used to love the bit where you first see her sort of flying in with the umbrella and the bag. And it did lead to a lot of me as a child with an umbrella, like jumping off a wall, desperately. I guess desperately trying to fly. I guess that was to the extent of which I thought it through. I mean, presumably, as like at 8 years old, I wasn't prepared to like fly off through somebody's window and then nanny their children. Like, I don't think I'd thought it that far ahead. But yeah, I always like loved the idea of like flying. I love the bit as well where if you haven't seen the film, it's not a big spoiler, but it also has been out for like a million years. For all you Mary Poppins fans out there, where all the other nannies have like answered the job ad and they're all lining up outside, and then presumably Mary Poppins is doing is to like build up the wind and like blow them all away. And I just think that's hilarious as a kid. They're dead, aren't they? Like in tenses getting blown away by the wind. You never see them again, so you just assume that they've gone. But I recently, fairly recently, saw the new Mary Poppins that they made, which was good. It's a good film. Like, it is a good film. The only thing I don't like about it is Mary Poppins. I don't know. I just found her like very distracting. Like all the songs are great, and you're like, yeah, this is just like a Mary Poppins film. But she was like, I don't know, wrong in it. I'm not insulting Emily Blunt, whoever it was that played her. Emily Blunt, I think. Like she's a great actress, but it just didn't like. But I think it was my mum was like the most upset because it's like my mum's all-time favorite film, and it was this kind of like, well, they could have still had her play it, and I was like, she's kind of. I mean, Julie Andrews is kind of getting on a bit, and she doesn't really sing anymore. It's like they could have put her in anyway, and I like the idea of like maybe just they superimposed like Julie Andrews' face on Emily Blunt, so someone else did the voice, or they just puppeted her. Yeah, it was unlike the Saving Mr. Banks film, if anyone's seen that, like the true story of Mary Poppins, except it's not the true story at all, but basically how the actual books, Mary Poppins is quite horrible and really strict, and the woman that wrote her was quite mean, but then Walt Disney screwed her over and like stole it and put animated penguins in it, and she didn't want that. So yeah, that's what Umbrellas makes me think of, the betrayal of Walt Disney. Aging brighter.
Awesome. We're going to do some Umbrella. Hey, excuse me, are you Gerard Way, the lead singer of My Chemical Romance?
Yeah. Would you like
Do you need money or something? It's just sorry, you just look a little bit weathered nowadays. Here, have like a bottle of beer. I bought a couple at the shop. I don't need it all. You look like you're going through a lot. I was a real big fan of MCR back in the day. Man. Ooh, boy. Ooh.
Sorry, is there something wrong with my appearance?
I'm sorry, it's just you. In my mind, you've got so much charisma, and you like so much flair, and who you are, and like a blazer with a wool jumper. It's pretty frayed.
I came in for Häagen-Dazs. It's like my day off when I'm not writing or writing music. You okay?
You sold out, man.
What?
Sold out so hard. You're buying Häagen-Dazs.
How is that selling
I
out?
can't. I'm sorry. This is physically hurting me. You're destroying my memories as a child. Please stop.
We all have to grow. I'm 48 now. I can.
Don't say numbers like that. You're eternally 21 and talking about how I have feelings that I can't tell, girl.
I'm guessing you were like a big My Chemical Romance fan, right? Or.
But I was Zevo25, the moderator of the MyChemicalRomance.com wet message boards.
Right. Well, I hate to break it to you, but people grow up and. I mean, you must have been a different age back then as well, I'm guessing. I know that's a stupid question to ask.
No. I have a disease that is permanent, froze me at 35 years old. But that's not important right now. What's important is you've ruined by aging, which frankly is insulting to me, you've destroyed my image of what you are.
I'm sorry, buddy. I can't help it.
Please DH for me.
I'm not going to DH for you.
Please do a Benjamin Button.
Look, some people don't have extreme conditions like you. Okay, I can't DH.
I know, but I just didn't think it would be somebody that I respected so much. I'll have that beer back. I really need it.
Hey, how long have you been 35 for?
35 years old. I've been 35 for 35.
Oh right, you look 35.
I am 30. I've always been 35.
You're always going to be 35.
Yes.
Right.
We refer to this as my swear birthday because I am always 35, and this is the 35 year that I've been on planet Earth.
Well, I'm sorry, I guess, but I'm going to go meet my kids now. They're both.
Don't say you've got kids. Gerard, you wouldn't have kids. You wouldn't. Get rid of your kids for me.
What are these? I'm not going to do this for you. I'm not going to get rid of my kids.
You were such a big part of my childhood. Do you know how many hours I spent on the MCR.com message boards making sure that nobody was making fun of you? Do you have any idea how vociferously I defended the drums, even though people said that it was like an overplayed element of the Black Parade? I defended that drumming to the hilt. So the least you can do is get rid of your kids. That's the absolute least you can do for me.
I can give you a signed autograph on the napkin here.
I was expecting that. That's the minimum. I'm entitled. I've done so much unpaid work for you. Let's talk about unpaid labour, Gerard. If that is your real name, it is. I know it is.
You know it is.
Yes, I'm a big fan. I feel like artists are kind of artists owe me stuff, okay? If I put the effort in, they owe me something back. And you owe me, like, just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. I'm not going to shoot you. I know that's where your mind's going to right now. I'm not going to...
Oh my god! I can't believe it! Oh, hi, sorry, when I wrote the letter and my dad tore it up and threw it in the fireplace, I never dreamed that Nanny would just fly in through the window one day. Hi, I'm Portero.
Hello, it's me, Titty Bottoms. I'm from Ireland.
Wow!
I'm here on a work visa. It's wonderful to meet you.
Oh, are you gonna teach me how to play games and tidy up and accept responsibility, and that my dad is sort of quite absent and I haven't really got a father figure to look up to?
Ooh, that's a lot of responsibility for Timothy Bottoms.
You can teach me algebra and chemistry and help me write my will, represent me in court, change my tyres and all the other things. It was a very extensive letter. It took my dad a long time to tear it up.
What? Why are you going to court, little girl?
Well, you see, I was flying my kite in the park when I got into an altercation with a chimney sweep, and long story short, he ended up dead. Oh, such is the way. And my hands were all covered in soot, and there was a lot of witnesses. He'd not long been playing a one-man band, and there was a big crowd around, so everyone saw me do it, really. But my father works late at the bank, so it's understandable that I have homicidal tendencies.
Now, obviously, I won't breach nanny child confidentiality. Anything you say to me, I will not breach. But I'm not a lawyer. I'm but a minimum wage at most professional hired by your fat cat father. You see, let's talk about capitalism. Your father works at the bank, and because he works at the bank, he has ownage over me, a man who's trying to make his way in jolly old England. I got onto the accent rather quickly. I'm on the way from Dublin, and I'm trying to fit in, and I have to put on these. I have to discard my own Irish identity to be able to get a job like this.
Well, that does seem fair. It's just, well, the judicial system at the moment is, as a woman, I'll be tried very unfairly, and they'll list many things against me: hysteria, womb, and I worry that I'll never see the bright skies of London ever again. They'll throw away the key. Isn't there a little ditty you could sing, and maybe a little bit of magic you could just sprinkle on this that would make all this go away?
I think you're thinking of Mary Poppins. I simply aren't Mary Poppins. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll sing you a song from my days when I was on the run from the British police.
Fantastic.
Come on now, ye black and tans, come on, fight me like a man. Yes, that's right, get into it.
I really am.
We cut to a prison cell where Charlie's character's in the prison cell is in the prison cell. Okay, young lady, it looks like we have your lawyer here, Mr. Bottom. It's not looking good for you, unfortunately. Killing that chimney sweep really...
Allegedly killing that chimney sweep.
Yeah, yes, allegedly. I'm trying my best. I don't have a legal law degree.
I'm just going to put this out there. The judge doesn't want to hear another diddle, another song, another sonnet, another big musical number.
I object.
I also
We're not in the court anymore, guys. This is just
Sustained.
Yeah. Is that your own mallet? Did you?
Yes,
your own
brought it. I watched Law and Order. I know how this goes. This is my only training that I have. This child should not be in a jail. That's all I know.
All I'm saying is there's not enough whimsy between the two of you to try and escape a prison sentence in the next few days, young lady. This is not looking good for you.
What if, and hear me out, if I was to draw a chalk painting of the incident, and then, right at the last minute, I slip inside the chalk painting and run away from jail and lead a whole different life, all within this painting? Would that be permissible?
Well, legally, there's nothing you could do about that.
Mr. Bottom, this is sounding more like the ramblings of a crazed person. I don't think... I'm going to use this as evidence. I don't think... Unless you pull something out of your bottom quickly...
What? Excuse me? You just run that back to me for a second?
I thought it was pretty clever. I said, out of your bottom, your name is Bottom. That's pretty funny.
What's your badge number?
No, come on. No,
Your badge number.
You just take the camera off 1 second. You don't need to know my badge number.
Okay, leave me and my client. We have to discuss matters, and we'll be discussing this.
Alright.
Okay, good news. I've talked to my friend who's a chimney sweep. He'll be coming down the chimney that's installed in this prison pretty soon, and he'll be able to fly you away. When I say fly you away, I mean put you on a helicopter, because this is very real. My chimney sweep friend knows how to get into and out of prisons, but he doesn't know how to fly, so he's got a Huey B-21 waiting for you. I can hear him now. Here he comes.
Well, I hope he doesn't mind that I killed a chimney sweep. I hope that was a rival chimney sweep and that there's no ill feeling.
My friend was a hitman for the IRA in the 80s. He's killed many people.
We cut back to the family house. Tim Bottom is in the living room. Mr. Bottom, where is my daughter?
You drove her away with a lack of love, Mr. Blanks.
I spent too much time under the teeth of capitalism and not enough sharing the love with my child. Thank you, Mr. Bottom. You've made me a better man.
I think my work is done. Away!
I don't know. I feel like I know Spain already. I feel like I know Spain. Can we let's take a why not like Belgium or the Netherlands?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Spain's nice, but when you've done Spain, haven't you? Sunny. Where would be sunny?
What's another place like Spain? With corner shops and British ideals and kind of on and off Englishy weather. Salisbury type. Once you've been to Salisbury, you know Spain. I don't need to go there again.
Oh, we could go to England. I know it's kind of a bit random, but if you want Spain, I mean, they do say they call England Little Spain. That is what they say.
Go to England. Huh. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess London, in a way, isn't really England. It's more of like a Monaco in the middle of France, isn't it? It's like its own little separate state. So we should explore the rest of England, yeah.
We could go, oh, what's that place, like, really far north in England? Oh, it's going to come to me. It's got the castle with the thing, and they do the Scotland. We could go to Scotland. That's so far from London. It's practically a different country.
I was in a tiny Swedish village of Slickholm. It pretty much was the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. I've seen all of Scotland if I was in that tiny town.
Okay, sure. Okay, supremely different to Scotland then.
Yeah, it needs to be super different.
Going out on a limb, we like architecture. Norfolk.
Norfolk?
Got hills. Car parks.
I like car parks.
Like.
We cut to a McDonald's in Norfolk. Okay, what can I get for you?
Wow.
It's just like the one at home. Great.
I'm sorry. Can you say something in your native tongue? Is that okay?
What can I get for you? Like, if you don't know English very well, there's numbers for all of the meals. Big Mac? Are you looking for a Big Mac? It's very popular.
Big Mac. Can you
Big Mac.
Big Mac. Oh my god. Oh, fabulous. Can you get a picture of me stood next to him saying Big Mac?
Oh, of course.
Big Mac again.
Yeah.
Big Mac.
Oh, that's up for the slideshow. Oh, fabulous.
I'm not being paid enough for this. Let's get in and out of here.
I like this place too. Yes.
Why are you not? I know what you're saying. You guys also know what I'm saying. You've confirmed to me that you can hear me. This just feels very patronising, like I'm a baby. I'm not a baby. First of all, I'm not a baby. Second of all, please order.
Oh yes, order. Oh gosh, what? It's all so exotic. I don't want to end up ordering anything too spicy. Oh god, what would you recommend for just little Londoners?
First of all, I mean, like, there's almost nothing spicy on the menu, so don't worry about that. All the meat and potatoes is locally sourced. It's just from a farm in, like, I think it's Suffolk. Yeah.
This is like the Jamie Oliver restaurants that we have in London, except like different in a way. It's like slightly different.
A drunk guy bumps into them and vomits on the guy. Sorry, mate. I just like getting drunk in McDonald's. Guys, I'm so sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Here's some blue roll. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Like, you're in a McDonald's at 10 p.m. This is kind of what it's like.
Is this some kind of cultural holiday or something? This is brilliant. Just let me get the camera there. That is.
They did what? They did.
Please stop taking photos. I feel like you're going to steal my soul if you keep doing it. We go away from this to the Holiday Inn. Yes, I have your ordering right here, Mr. and Mrs. Chambers. That's room 21. If you can give me your card, I'll just run it through and get you your keys.
We've never been way up north like this before. This is crazy.
This is Norfolk. Where you from London? You're wearing that I Heart London t-shirt.
Could you tell? We feel like such tourists. Everyone's noticing how much we stand out. We're so far from home. Oh.
You did tell me to stop wearing the socks and sandals, but I didn't listen.
He doesn't listen.
What brings you guys to Norfolk? We don't really honestly get a lot of people acting like this is a holiday.
Oh, he's like a baby.
I'm not like a baby. Please don't say that I'm not a baby, okay? I'm sorry for swearing.
Yeah, I like baby.
Like, if you need to know, if you really need to know, this piece of jewellery with a pacifier is like a wrap thing, a wrapper, but I'm not a baby, okay? So don't make out that I'm a baby.
We're from London. Would you like?
Please don't.
Do you want to burp?
I want your credit cards to give you your keys.
He wants you to jangle his keys. Jangle your keys. He'll love that.
I cannot deny that this is fun. This is very fun, okay? But please stop doing that.
So we cut to a rave in a basement. Hey, hi. Sorry. Let me get rum and coke. And have you got milk?
Oh yeah. Let me just. I'll just have to go down to the kids' bar to get the milk.
Thank you. Thank you. This is the first time that I've taken my son to the rave.
Oh, nice. How are you finding it? I hope like the little bit of tape down the middle of the floor is not too distracting. It's just we've got to keep the kids' rave separate from the adults' rave. Here's your rum and coke.
Thank you. And the milk as well, please.
Yeah, sorry. There's your milk. Yeah.
Dad, I want to go home. I don't feel safe.
What?
There's adults here and there's kids here and some people are drinking. This doesn't... I know that you're taking the divorce very badly, but please, let's go home.
Honey, you have to speak a little bit louder. The music's very loud in here.
Please don't call me honey, it's weird.
Would you like me to put a little lid on your milk so nobody can slip anything in it? Would that make him feel... I'll put a little lid.
I will take that. I will take the line. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Hey, I'm sorry. Do you know if I can get like a slice of LSD as well? Not for the kids, mainly for me.
This is why am I the parent in this situation? I'm 10 years old.
The child won't be having any of the LSD. Just I've got to be responsible, as long as I have your word, that's all I need as a barman.
Yeah, I respect that. I respect the law. Yeah. No worries. Yeah, I agree.
Respectful.
1 LSD for you. There you go.
Thank you so much. Son, what? Come on, lighten up. This is the party. Come on, this is fun.
Look, you don't have to try and revisit your youth, okay? We can connect by hanging out at home. Please don't do that LSD. It's a powerful mind-altering psychotic. I mean, it's cool to do, but maybe I'll do it in like 8 years when I'm 18, but right now I'm 10. I just want to become an accountant. I'm normal.
Would you like a balloon? Would that make you...
I would absolutely kill for a balloon. Thank you so much.
£5 to make sure when you're breathing it in, you make a seal around the whole of the balloon and then breathe it back out again.
I'm not doing nitrous if that's what this balloon's for.
Oh my bad. Okay, no, fair enough.
I'll take the nitrous. I'll take it.
Who is regulating this? You sold like one.
Son, look. Okay, first of all, you're not the normal one here. You're a 10-year-old boy who wants to be an accountant. That's weird. Okay. Secondly, I'm trying the best I can. Okay?
I can't believe I'm missing Arthur for this. There's a new Arthur and I'm missing it. For this, you reliving your lost youth just because I was born and you didn't get to have fun.
I've got you for 1 weekend. I'm trying to look after you, and I'm also trying to get laid, okay? And maybe try some LSD, try some balloons, I'm trying to do it all. I have 1 weekend to do it all.
Okay, you don't do the balloon. Like, I'll just make that clear, you don't do the balloon. You do what's in the balloon. Like, I go to school, I get with the cool kids. I don't have LSD and balloons work, okay?
We have to have a serious conversation about what 10-year-old kids are doing in your school.
Look where you've brought me! Don't try and fucking turn into the dad now! Hey, look at me! Look at me! I'm the dad now. I'm dad now.
Hey, excuse me, son, if you're gonna get rowdy, you'll go on the big naughty step.
Dude, I'm not going on the naughty step. Don't dare put me out on that.
Let's all calm. Let's be calm. Simmer down.
Son, you're embarrassing me right now. You're embarrassing me at this rave.
The son glasses the dad with his milk bottle. You're pathetic! I can't believe what you're ruining my life! I knew it! Hey, no! Don't put me on the big chair! No!
The arms and drag him to the naughty step.
We cut to the divorce arraignment proceedings with the husband, the wife, and the judge. I've never seen more of a slam dunk case, if I'm honest. Have you got anything to say?
Hey, that... Okay, first of all, Judge, apologies, my head's not really in the right place. I did get glassed by my son. And secondly, I don't know what to tell you, okay? I see my son on the weekend. Judge, you do the same thing.
What?
You would do the same thing.
And we see like a quick cut back to the club, and we see that Judge was in that club all night.
Yeah,
cut back. I don't know what you mean at all.
Judge, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be abandoned by a mother or father when they're working for a capitalist regime, okay? I know what it's like, and you just want to escape. Did you
bring your own gavel to this meeting, sir?
Yes, I did.
You're not allowed. This has no authority. I'm not gonna let you decide the case because you have a gavel.
Sir, there is one special man that helped me see the truth in my ways. And
I don't allow surprise witnesses in my court. This isn't... Okay, this is a court, but we're not in the main court. We're in my office.
Hey,
a door opens and walks in Gerard Way. You can't just pull... Okay, yes, I'm a big fan of NCR, you know this, but...
Judge, didn't you like listening to my music?
I did.
Who supported me most when I was being ridiculed on the Reddit sites? You did.
Look, I've got to say, Mrs. Fosteringham, first of all, I apologize on behalf of the courts. But I'm gonna have to afford full custody to him. He makes a compelling case. And frankly, I'm gonna have to send you to jail for not liking MCR. Case closed! Case closed!
Into the molly chair for her.
That's our show.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's fun.
Oh, good stuff. Charlie, thank you so much for being our guest.
Mm.
Thank you so much for having me. That was a blast.
Do you have anything you wish to plug?
The best place to see our stuff is on our Facebook. So if you go to Little Chicago Comedy Productions Facebook page, and also Long Boy and the Noise Facebook page, all of our stuff that's upcoming and ongoing is all put on there. So give us a like. We're also on Instagram and Twitter.
And we will be back with Charlie straight after. I think we'll have a little break.
Yeah.
We'll be back at 8 o'clock and we'll have another chat with you. Chat with Charlie about her improv experiences and opinions on long form. We can do our plugs during that show with McInnes.
Yes.
Charlie can say her plugs again for the new club.
Indeed. Until then,
Sounds good.
keep watching the skies.
Bye.